Okay, so we took our selling opportunity from up here as soon as it got to our weekly zone. All right, we had that indecision, followed by a strong pin bar, all right, which we took our trade from. We had that follow through with about 80 pips, and I believe we are about 50 pips away from our second target. All right, just reading price action, we see we are looking bearish. And the reason I say this is just looking at the size of the candlesticks. All right, we're on the daily time frame, and on this daily time frame, all right, we can see. Okay, so on this daily time frame, we can see that we did not have a long wick. Okay, usually when we have wicks, all right, we tend to have a slowdown or reversals or um, momentum starting to change direction. All right, but we had a strong bearish drive. All right, we're looking for price to come back down, even potentially break through. All right, the reason we took this trade is because, again, just reading the trend, we've been on a downtrend. So on a downtrend, we know we should be looking for long-term selling positions. All right, we found our opportunity when uh, price broke support and then became resistance. Okay, and last we waited for something to get us into the trade. Okay, whether that being a pin bar, doji, engulfing candlestick, one of these candlestick reversal patterns enticed us to get in. And again, the higher the time frame, the higher the probability is going to play out in our favor, you guys. Okay, so AUD USD in profits. I left the runner going personally, looking to secure at target 2. All right, so going forward, we also called USD JPY. All right, and you guys can see again, the reason we took this trade is just reading off on a higher time frame, okay? Because we need to be able to read what the market is telling us, and by scaling on a higher time frame, we get a higher probability of price playing in our favor. Okay, so we like to identify the trend. All right, that way we know where to place our positions. We know that the market can only go in 3 directions. It can go on an uptrend, it can go on a sideways trend, or it can go on a downtrend. All right, so we have to identify where the market's going so we know that we are on the correct side of money and we're not blindsided. Okay, so on a downtrend, we know we should be looking for long-term selling positions. Okay, so price UJ is again came to the had our first touch of this trend line over here, our second touch over here, and came to our third touch. We did violate. All right, but we needed a strong shift in momentum to convince us that buyers are finally in control. Okay, for example, look at the size of this candlestick here compared to these candlesticks here. All right, they're not really convincing, they're not really strong. All right, price came up, almost hit our stop loss, okay, and snapped right back below the trend. Okay, with this being said, let's see if we get that continuation to the downside. All right, but if it manages to get a shift in momentum to the upside, we'll know that buyers are finally in control of this market. All right, but again, just reading price action, when we got to this trend line, we had our indecision candlestick, and price, I believe, opened up the market here on Monday. We took the trade here off a 4-hour pin bar. All right, it was in drawdown. Again, almost hit our stop loss. And then we had an engulfing candlestick. Again, reading the size of the candlestick, we can see that this one is bigger than the previous candlestick. Okay, this is considered an engulfing because, again, this candlestick is bigger than the one beforehand. All right, if you guys aren't familiar with candlestick reversal patterns, I recommend checking out the boot camp. There's a lot of great value in there if you haven't checked it out already. All right, and there are more videos releasing tonight, hopefully. But with this being said, just scaling down to the 4-hour. All right, we'd like to see potential continuation. All right. So those were the pairs that we called last week. All right, and we're still in them. Now I'm going to show you guys some setups that I'm personally looking at. I think I'm just going to stick to 3 pairs this week. GU, we've been sending recaps and setups on it since last week, but we haven't gone in yet. So let me just go ahead and go to GU. All right, the reason I am liking this pair, okay, it's one of the first pairs I'm going to keep my eye on this week. GU, U, Chef, and Gold. All right, GU, the reason I say this is because, again, we're at our third touch of our trend line, so we're at a nice selling opportunity. All right, We're in a downtrend. We're at support and resistance. Now we need a candlestick reversal formation. Okay. So just reading price action. All right. Again, let's just go on to the higher time frame. Okay. So I'll even start from scratch for you guys. All right. Starting off on a higher time frame, monthly time frame. All right. On this monthly time frame, again, we don't want to be marking up over here. All right. We want to pay attention to where price is relevant. Okay. Keep in mind, the higher the time frame, all right, the longer it's going to, or I'm sorry, the higher the time frame, all right, the longer it's going to take to play out. Okay, so if we're on a high time frame, there's no reason for me to look past back over here because each candlestick represents a month of activity. All right, so there's no need for me to look back in 2018. All right, so just looking where price is relevant, I can see that we've been going down. Okay, so again, we like to identify trends, support and resistance. So right away, I see that we are at support, 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 support. We broke through. Now we are at resistance. Okay, so this is considered a monthly zone. All right, we can even scale down lower and adjust. All right, we didn't even have to touch our horizontal line. So okay, I'll tell myself that this is a strong zone, weekly slash monthly zone. And again, the higher the time frame, the higher the probability it's going to play in your favor. All right, so we broke through this zone and we came back to test it on the other side. Okay, we broke through the zone. We came back to test it on the other side. All right, you guys can see we had, again, support, support. We held support around here, broke retest, continuation. We came back up. All right, again, we had a reversal around this area. All right, strong rejection. We broke, retested here, break, retest, break, retest, continuation. So now we're back at, um, so just drawing it out with a line, we came down, break, retest, break, retest. Now we're back at our weekly zone. Okay. So let's go ahead and scale down. But before we scale down, you guys can see how this candlestick came all the way up, touched that weekly zone, and came right back down and closed. Okay, so we had buyers came up, sellers came down, and we closed right in the middle. Okay, that's considered indecision. Okay, so we have some slowdown. So we have to see how this next weekly candlestick plays out, but we can definitely scale down to the daily and see what's going on. All right, so on this daily time frame, you guys can see, all right, we're looking a little overextended. All right, meaning looks like we're due for a reversal. All right, price came up to our weekly zone twice and rejected. All right, this wick is almost bigger than this body. So we have some sellers over here, okay, protecting the zone. All right, so again, we always want to identify the trend. All right, we saw on the higher time frame we were going down, but we can use trend lines and channels to represent the trend. Okay, so again, 1, 2, and 3 touches on this line. All right, so we have the trend in our favor. We're in this nice previous support to resistance, and we are getting some daily rejection, which is beautiful. All right, so now let's go ahead. Before I scale down and show you the 4-hour time frame, let me show you what I see on the daily time frame. All right, so on the daily time frame, I'm seeing, I usually don't use my RSI. I love just reading price action and seeing what the market is telling me. This is kind of like very last tool I use, or I really don't use it at all. Okay, we have price going up from here. So over here, it's going down. Okay, so usually when we have an opposite, all right, this is called divergence. Okay, so this is on the daily time frame, and we can also see it on the 4-hour time frame. Okay, so we got double divergence. Okay, so let's go ahead and draw this because we are still respecting this zone. I'll get 2 and put 1 on top. Okay, so it's going up, price is going up. We're still creating higher highs, higher lows, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. But on, I believe on our RSI, it looks like we are going down. Okay, so the RSI is a relative strength index, which just measures the overall strength of the currency. Okay, so the RSI is telling us that usually when it's over 70, it's considered overbought, and usually when it's under 30, it's considered oversold. Okay, so we had a price come in to be overbought and we dropped back down, and it's saying that we're losing strength. The reason it's saying we're losing strength is because we're going down. So the RSI is telling us we're losing strength, but the market is telling us uh, someone is still pushing this market up. Okay, so somebody is trying to convince individuals that, hey, this is still uh, a bullish market. So by enticing individuals to get in, they are creating a bigger pool of money to grab when they go the other way. All right, you have to keep in mind every equal amount of buyers, there's always an equal amount of sellers, and vice versa. All right, so if you're going to the supermarket and you want to buy something, there's a seller there. All right, say you're selling something, you have to find someone to buy it. Okay, there's always going to be someone on the other side of the trade. So if I'm looking to sell this down, I would push it up first to create a bigger pool of money for me to grab, because by pushing it up, I'm convincing people, hey, it's it's a it's still a bullish market. All right, and then putting their money in, all right, I'm creating more liquidity for myself. Okay, and then I can reverse it the other way and I can grab all that money. But for now, that's what I'm seeing. All right, if you guys have any questions, if you guys want me to break that down some more, you guys know where to contact us. All right, I'd be happy to. But to finish off on this GU setup, all right, we can see that we are creating a third touch on this trend line, which is okay. All right, so I see that it's respecting here, which is good because I want to get a better entry. So I would love for price to push up one more time up to here. Okay, that way we can get a better entry. So we can get something like this. Okay, so we can see price push up one more time, all right, to give us that uh, that head and shoulders. Okay, so we have a head and shoulders formation. And if we just take this back, if we just measure this swing from top to bottom to get a nice entry, you can see that 61 matches up where that entry would be, where that right shoulder. And I know, let me go ahead and see. So I know it's going to take time and practice for you guys to get this intuitive sense. This intuitive sense, I mean, being able to see something happen before it's already playing out, being able to predict, okay, I can see the market do this. So you're a couple steps ahead. All right, and again, that just takes time, practice, just like anything else. All right, you guys, so I know for those of you just starting out, you'll be in the mechanical phase, learning setups, learning how the market moves, basically the basics. And then you'll move to the subjective stage where you get a feeling of what's going to happen next. And last, you'll move on to the intuitive stage where you see things already happening before they happen. Okay, and that's the stage you want to be in. Okay, but again, just like practice, or just like anything else, it needs time and practice. But again, to follow up with this setup, all right, we broke it down top down. We had our confirmations. Now we're just waiting for an entry. Okay, I like to take my entries off the 4-hour time frame. So I like to see price, or honestly the daily and the 4-hour time frame, but I'd like to see price push up one more time to this 61 fib just so we can get a better entry. Why don't we enter now? The reason we don't want to enter now is because number one, we would be exposing our risk to all the way up here, which is about 100 pips. All right, and keep in mind, this is because this is a pound setup. So by waiting to here, we can, by waiting here, we're only exposing our account to about 55, 60 pips, which is way better than 100. Okay, targets, just looking at the past, Target 1 would be the bottom of this channel, which is about a 140 pip move. TP2 would be this green zone that we respected in the past. TP3, this green zone that we respect in the past. Okay, you guys, so we don't want to enter now because we would be exposing our risk. So we want to wait for a better entry. I'm honestly thinking of setting a limit just in case we don't move this, just in case we don't miss this. Okay, but U-Chef is another pair that we're looking at. Okay, just reading the market. All right, we're on a daily time frame. Okay, so in the past, we see that we've been going sideways. Okay, we've been bouncing at this bottom, the swing low down here, and we've been respecting the swing high up here. Okay, so we're in a range. Okay, but in this range, we're also creating a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. So we're still creating higher highs and higher lows. But you guys can see we broke above that range over here. We broke above here. All right, and again, why did we break above? Because if I'm looking to sell this market, I would have to first push it up. Okay, convincing buyers, hey, this market is still going up. Imagine how many buy limits were set, and now imagine how many stop losses were set right here. Okay, so you can see we actually broke past this high. We literally broke past it right here. Imagine how many individuals had their stop loss there. Okay, the only reason I would push price up is to get those stop losses and then push price all the way right back down. All right, so we had that snap right after. It engulfed the previous candlestick beforehand. All right, we got some follow through. So scaling down to the 4-hour time frame, we can see we had that impulse and kind of like a flag correction in between that zone, that the ceiling that we were looking at earlier. Okay, so we're back below this zone. We engulfed 1, 2, 3 days, or I'm sorry, 4-hour candlesticks. So I'd like to see if we do manage to break through here, this uptrend line. All right, we have a great selling opportunity. All right, and we can enter late on this one because the pip count isn't as high. So even if we got in here, you guys can see that's about 60 pips, which is right about 70 pips actually. So 60 pips right here. Okay, and targets would be, you guys can see every time I hit the trend line. Okay, this could be a target, this can be a target, this can be a target. All right, you guys. But that bottom green zone would be our final target. Okay, that's floor. Okay, because we are ranging. All right, so if we do manage to break this trend line, okay, so let me show you guys over here. So if we're ranging, all right, we can look to buy and sell. And for example, right now, price was creating an uptrend. It was creating an uptrend in this range. It was creating an uptrend in this range. Okay. So we even broke above and came right back below. If we break this trend line, all right, we can sell it all the way back down. Okay, so this is what I'm saying right now. Though we're consolidating, we were still creating an uptrend. So we're using this consolidated market with this uptrend. Okay, and we can see if it breaks, we can sell it back down. So exactly what we're seeing. The green zones represent that consolidated area down here and up here. You can even see it on the daily time frame. You can see we're ranging in this zone. Okay, so if we do break this uptrend, we can sell it, but again, we always want to have two options. All right, if we manage to break and stay above this ceiling, we can see price rally to the upside. All right, we always want to have two options just in case one of them doesn't play out and we're not sitting on our hands. Okay, so USD Chef is a setup I'm liking, and last but not least, I'm going to finish off with gold. All right, I'm really liking gold. I just remove all drawing tools. So just getting some zones. I have one zone here, which represents that floor. Again, we have some price being held here, 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 and here, and just looking at the passes being held here. All right, so I'm gonna also place my zone in the middle, okay, because I also see we are respected here, 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 and now it is considered a new resistance. All right, and one more zone I'll place on top. So just 3 zones. All right, and scaling down to the 4 hour, you'll see that they are well respected and we can always adjust. Okay, so we can see it covers this swing low right here. And we have multiple wick rejections in this area. We're going to put that down so I can copy and paste it. Get one more in the middle. And again, we can see that we're being respected here, here, here. And now we are approaching this resistance zone right over here. All right, and last we have the high. All right, you guys can see how we're just bouncing in between this zone, right? We came in from the left, okay? We bounced at the bottom one more time, came up, came down, came up, came down, came up, okay? Was bouncing in this zone now, was bouncing, came down, retested, came down, came up, came down, chilled in the middle, came down, came up. Okay, so we can see we've just been bouncing in between these zones. All right, so we'd like to see how it reacts here. We have a potential bounce or break situation. Okay, what does that mean? It means if it bounces, we can look to sell it back down, or if it breaks through, we can look to buy and continue buying it up to the next zone. All right, so just keeping it simple, we have 3 zones marked. We just have to wait and see how price reacts to it. All right, just scaling down. Okay, we did gap over here, but again, I don't want to be getting it in the middle. I would like to get it in the best position possible, especially with gold. Keep in mind the pip count is high on this pair. All right, you guys. But other than that, we went over AU, we went over UJ, and we also covered some of the pairs we're going to be executing on this week, which is GU, USHEF, and potentially gold. All right. Again, just finishing off with gold, we're at a support zone. All right, so we just have to be patient and see what the market tells us so we can react. All right, with that being said, does anyone have any questions as to why we marked these charts this way? Any questions as to anything I said tonight? Anything at all, honestly. All right, I want to make sure that you guys are getting, attaining this value. Okay. If not, all right, we do have the call recorded. I'll send it as soon as it's finished. I appreciate everyone for hopping on. Hope everyone has an amazing night. And I hope you guys are ready to conquer this week. All right, much peace, love, and abundance to everyone. If you guys have any questions at all, you guys know where to